Good morning, everyone. I see the discussion has already began. Oh my goodness. This should be interesting.
That was the coolest
Oh,
intro.
thank you. I love that song, and I'm like, we got to do something. I'm like, I want to make a new intro because I make them all the time, but I'm like, I gotta have a special one for the Batman, right? Like, this is gonna be like the reviews of it, and then I'm gonna do a video about reviewing it, and then I'm probably gonna do a straight. Come on, let's be real. It's the
Yeah.
Batman. I'm excited. Are you excited?
Yes. Sorry, I said that in such like a geek way. Yes, I'm very excited. I'm so hyped for it. I mean, I had a feeling it was gonna be perceived very well, but I'm just glad to see that it's doing really good.
Black Joker, yes or fuck yes?
Either way, I mean, it wouldn't bother me either way.
I made a whole video one time doing a storyline. I should find it and send it to you, Joseph, because I did a whole video about this storyline where Joker could be black and Jimmy Olsen could be gay, and it would make them more alien and have them be more relatable to Superman. And I thought it was a really cool idea. And people were like, SJW. She's an SJW. I was like, okay, or it just could be a really good storyline, but hey, we're not really here for stories. We're here for culture war. So you have to remember that. But I am really excited. It is the Batman. The Batman reviews embargo were lifted yesterday at noon. Now, it is sitting certified fresh. That is a win for DC fans. I am so excited. Robert, good morning. That bounding in article. Yes, I just seen the comment. I actually have it pulled up on my other screen. I'm not surprised, to be honest. I'm sorry, but I knew the psychos were gonna psycho when I seen Sean Gordon Murphy talking about the White Knight Beyond, or Beyond the White Knight, however you say it. And he talked about Terry. I knew it was gonna happen. Like, it is so easy. I knew when I seen the King thing, they were going to be upset. I knew when I said it's so easy to call at this point. It is not even a joke, but we will get there. We will get there. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm yeah.
Snowflake liberals, except for we're not the ones offended. And I like I have said a million times, I may be a classic liberal, I guess you could probably say, but I am politically homeless because politics are a fucking joke, and and all politicians are criminals. Come on, let's be real.
Well, I'm the same way. I mean, I used to be on a side, but now I'm like, I'm gonna have to look at things from the outside. I'm gonna stay in the middle.
Yes, and I think that's a fair place to put it. Like,
yeah,
because then you can see both sides of the argument, right? Like, you can at least empathize with it. But I've lost, and I preach a lot, which is weird about empathy. But I'm also like, God damn, stop being so stupid. Like, I've lost my empathy for stupidity, I guess is the best way to put it. I'm just like, idiots, and I move on. It's so mean.
I feel the same way, though. It's like, I just call things how they are. Like, if something's stupid, it's stupid. It doesn't matter what political side it's happening on. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, it's just like, it's such an easy, predictable game at this point, especially with the culture war. And a lot of times it comes down to me wanting to talk about comics, or about, talking about Batman and It doesn't matter. It's always brought up because those damn SJWs are taking over Hollywood. And my God, how are we ever going to get a conservative movie again? Or just stop.
I know what you're saying, though. And, it's very true. I mean, I know somebody who's very much like, oh my gosh, an actor or actress has this view and I disagree with it. So that means that I can't watch their movies. And I'm like, well, do you kind of vet out every actor or actress before you watch their movie? Because at that point, you're going to have to stop watching movies altogether if you're concerned about what their views are.
Yes. And I seen one, because I was going for Thursday, I'm doing more reacting to videos, and I was vetting them, and I seen one was about BioShock going woke, and I'm like, for fuck's sake, are you serious? BioShock is literally about the fall of laissez-faire capitalism. It has always been woke. Did you even play the game? Like, that game is woke as fuck from the get-go.
I
Oh,
didn't
it
know
cracks
that.
me
Yeah.
up. Hey, anything for the grift, right? Anything for the grift. So Batman himself
Yeah.
wouldn't accept liberalism. Come on now. You're kidding me, right? Batman is literally always somebody to put his ass on the line for the oppressed.
Yeah, I've never actually paid attention to his political views. I've seen people talk about them and they've gone back and forth. Like some people are like, "Oh yeah, he's definitely liberal." And then other people are like, "He's definitely conservative." But I haven't kept up with the comics, so I don't know.
I would say I would call Batman a centrist.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
you've got clear, like, conservative characters, which I would call probably Wally West and Hal Jordan. And then you've
Okay.
got clear liberal ones like Oliver Queen
Okay.
or yeah. So I mean they have clear cut just and I think that's really smart. Like you've got feminist characters, even like Gert, from Runaways. There are characters, Mockingbird, that that's how it should be. It should have a balance in the comic books like you see in the outside world, right? So
Right.
Hawkman. Oh, Hawkman's a great example. He's a massive conservative, but everybody forgets about that, right?
Interesting.
Oh,
So, are there is this like you're talking comic related? Would you say that these like characters are they very upfront about their politics, or is it just kind of like their views? You'd say.
Batman believes in God. I've seen him pray. Yeah, that doesn't
Okay.
mean he's a conservative.
Hmm.
Um, I would say he's centrist. Like, yeah, you know what? Many are. Oliver Queen, I think, is most notably open about being on the left.
I'm
Um,
surprised by that.
really?
Yeah, I don't know why. Something tells me to be surprised about that. I don't know what it is. It's like this sense I have. I don't understand.
Yeah, some of them are. Um, and there are storylines specifically revolving around political beliefs and
Yeah.
like whether they should go into foreign affairs or whether they should leave it alone. Like we're seeing now, Jonathan Kent, he's clearly very liberal.
Okay.
Or I don't see. I'm still like, I don't get the difference between. I would say I would personally be classically liberal, but there's
Hmm.
also leftists, and I'm definitely not far left. So, like,
Right.
I would say that even Jonathan Kent, I would picture him far left. But
Right.
then again, I don't, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know the difference so much is maybe being more vocal about things. I don't know.
And I know what you're saying though. That's where I get kind of confused as well is I agree with things on both sides, so I don't know where to classify myself. So I'm like, I don't have any kind of affiliation. I'm just gonna go with that.
Yes.
You know?
That's exactly right. Like Keeley
Yeah.
said, let's be politically homeless together. Yes.
Yeah.
Um, die not a die. Secularists do not pray. Right. I didn't say secularists. I said centrist, like in the middle, right?
Uh, yeah,
Um,
I didn't know. I never knew that Batman believes in God. I would have assumed he was an atheist.
yeah, I mean, he's not like a devout Christian or anything.
Right.
Like it Christianity and comic there are devout Christians and there
Right.
are devout Catholics. Like that's a
Right.
huge part of like Nightcrawler.
Hmm.
Um, and one of the New Mutants, I can't think of her name. Um, which is actually really weird because a lot of like her struggle is that she's gay, but she's Catholic. Like
Interesting.
so it is touched upon, but I would say not as often as maybe in indie comics.
That's yeah. That's no. That's really interesting because I know Daredevil. He's one that comes to mind. You know, he's very
Uh-huh.
Christian. But then like beats the living shit out of people. So that's really interesting. Yeah.
Concussions in the name of Jesus.
That was so funny. Imagine if he actually said that in his like that was one
Oh
of
my
his
god.
lines.
That's his new punchline. Like he gets a
Yes.
new writer and he just starts Giving
That's
concussions in
so
the name of
funny.
Jesus, everyone. Oh my god, that would be hilarious. So, Christian comics, have you guys ever heard of Jack Chick? No, I
Nope.
have not. I'm not a I'm agnostic. So
Same.
I
Same.
I just I think there's something I just don't know what. The weird thing about religion to me is like I've gone back and forth my whole life. Like 2 years ago, I believed in God, I believed in this, and then
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
think sometimes we just got to grow into it at our own pace. You know what I mean? Like I don't
You
know if
know,
it. Go
sorry, go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just gonna say, I think we've had the same life journey because this sounds like the exact same thing I went through. Like, it literally sounds, it's so crazy because I used to be like you, like as far as politics, like I was a little bit on the right, and then I was kind of Christian. But sorry for cutting you off. Just wanted to
Oh no,
agree
you're
with you.
totally fine. The weird thing about it is when I was younger, um, I actually got really into the series of books called Left Behind.
Okay.
And I was absolutely like loving the idea of, diving into the Bible and da 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 da. And then
Mhm.
as I grew older, I was like, "Oh, you foolish, naive little girl. What were you thinking?" Like
I
it's so
feel you
weird.
though. Like I definitely feel you on that. I had that sort of phase, I guess if you want to call it that. It's interesting how it works though. Like you said, you kind of slowly transition into realizing that maybe you don't believe in it because it took me like I had to slowly ease into it. I'm like slowly I detached over a period of
Yes.
time.
Exactly. It's a weird thing. I think just as humans, we kind of are ever changing and evolving. So,
Yeah.
same with our beliefs. A lot of people are cemented into their beliefs, and I think that's great. I just can't be there yet. You know what I mean?
Right, that's the thing is that I don't think I'm ever going to be cemented in my beliefs, and that's a really good way to put it because I don't know about you, but I have a difficult time conversing with people who are kind of stuck in their own ways sometimes because I'm like, why would you ever want to just not, learn more and sort of
Exactly.
evolve? Yeah.
And I think that's kind of, especially in the last couple years, that's the journey I've been on. Like I was really ignorant in some of my views and believing like bullshit. And then
Yeah.
I started to research and look into doctrines and different educational material and listen to other people's sides of stories that went through things. And I kind of was like, yeah, I should have shut my mouth back then. Bye, kitty
Same.
kitty. Good
I'm
morning, hominous.
Morning. Hello, hominous. Hi, everybody in the chat. I'm
Um,
waiting for the day that you learn to give me your social security number so that I can get into your Amazon account and find out what
I know you want to keep track of me just like Saggy.
yes.
Is Jack Chick that guy that recently said that he had real life witches in his
What?
sermon? This dude was like, I
Um,
know these witches. These witches are here. And if
what?
they come to I will out them. Like it was insane. It was
Uh, hold on. What? That sounds like one of those faith healing things. Have you ever heard of that?
I think that's what it is. I could be wrong.
They're
I could be
like,
talking about the wrong person, but it's like he's like, these witches talk to my wife. I'm like, oh my god, stop it.
what? Oh my gosh. I watched a video on that recently, and this guy, he's like, I give you the power in your legs to start walking again. And while the woman needs like a walker, and then of course she can walk for a second and then probably realizes she can't and still needs the damn walker.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, most of those times they're just paid actors. Like they just are. It just doesn't
That's
work
true.
that way.
That's
But I
true.
do love like I love the story of when I was younger I heard like you know how like Scientology and stuff they won't use medicine.
Yeah.
But like if you think about it, if you're praying for, healing of your child or your husband or your friends or whatever, why does God not come in the form of medicine? Why does God not come in the form of doctors? Like it's all
Mhm.
so weird to me.
Yeah, it's interesting. It is interesting, yeah. Because as a doctor, I come in the form of God. Um I don't know where I was going with that, but I know what you're saying. Though it's very kind of picky and choosy, if whatever you want to call it. They pick and choose what's acceptable for them.
Yes, exactly. And at the bare minimum, like the Bible is at least like good moral stories, right? Like, yeah, at the bare minimum, I would say that we should not limit God to any books. Yeah, and I agree to that. I'm just not there with my life. I'm just not. So
Yeah. And,
we're gonna take a look at some cringe. I'm so excited.
oh,
I have 2 Batman reviews pulled up, and if you guys don't know, the Batman, like I said in the beginning, is doing really well. I
yeah.
watched a couple spoiler-free reviews just because I'm like, I have to, but I don't know any spoilers. I'm assuming you don't either.
I don't. I think there's like one or two things that aren't even like serious spoilers that I did accidentally stumble upon, but there's nothing that's gonna like
Yeah,
spoil the entire movie for me.
exactly. And I know there's been rumors out for months anyway, so
Yeah.
I think that kind of stuff. Jack Chick is dead. Okay, sorry, wrong person then. But he sure did believe in witches. Oh boy.
I need.
Um,
I'm gonna Google this guy or whoever
oh
you're
my
talking
gosh. Going with Sean to see it Thursday night. We shall see. It is going to be fucking epic.
Wait,
Gonna run you through it.
when are you seeing it?
Thursday. I don't know exactly yet. Thursday afternoon. I
Okay.
am so excited. I'm not even kidding. Like this is after Peacemaker. I've been needing me some more. And I love the Dark Knight trilogy. Don't get me wrong,
Oh
but there
yeah.
was a lot of with that. Like
Mhm.
eh. I've seen them all 100 times. I need something new to watch.
I feel it. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Let's bring on the cringe.
I'm looking forward to it.
So this is the first. I actually have 2 pulled up. The next one is the Daily Wire, and Lord have mercy. You know how like have you ever seen these video? You know what? I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it. I want to show you so bad. Okay, so what we're seeing here is Caitlin Booth from
Okay.
Bleeding Claw, and it says she stumbles for a moment, continues downhill, feels terrible pacing, and too much of a long runtime. Does the runtime bother you at all?
No, well that's my thing is it doesn't bother me whatsoever. Like me personally, I find that to be a strange criticism. And the reason I say it's a strange criticism is because people will knock it down so many points for being a long movie. Now, if it's a terrible movie because, it's way too long, I understand, but I just feel like people focus on that aspect way too much.
Yeah, and when I watched the Justice League, because that's the only movie I can really compare it to, the
Mhm.
Snyder Cut. And
Yeah.
I reviewed it. There were a lot of my issue was that was the type how they portrayed the characters.
Right.
But honestly, the runtime bothered me a little bit. It was, I think, a little over 4 hours or right there. But because it
Uh
was on HBO Max, like it
yeah.
wasn't a big deal. My biggest issue with Batman, and I watched Grace Randolph's review actually.
I do too.
She said there's no place to go pee. I'm gonna die. It's so long.
Oh, bring an empty water bottle with you. You'll be
There
fine.
we go. It'll be dark. Nobody will know.
I feel that though. I usually like dehydrate myself like 3 hours before I see a movie
I'm
like this.
going to because I don't want to miss a single ounce of it. And
Yeah.
then I'm like 3 hours. I'm already thinking about it, and I'm like, oh my god, how am I gonna make it? That's so
Yeah.
long.
Yeah, I what was I gonna say? My thing is there's so many Marvel movies that are like 2 hours 30 minutes or 2 hours 40 minutes. So I've seen like all of them. So it's not really different to me because this is about 2 hours. It's not quite 3 hours. It's like 2 hours 50
Right.
something.
Yep.
So that doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I'm not bothered by it. Like if I really miss something, I could always go back. But
Hmm.
um I'm not one of those. I know people like do that, like go back to the movies multiple times for the same movie. I don't think I've ever done that.
Really? I'll do it twice, but three is pushing it because I don't want to, overkill the movie. But if I really liked it, I'll see it twice.
I don't think I've ever No, never, 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 never. So, okay, it says the Batman was one of the rare movies that the first frame is indicative of a serious problem throughout the entire production. Despite some moments where it seems like it might do something interesting, it decides to play it safe. The movie opens with a voiceover monologue from Robert Pattinson, who sounds like Rorschach, and
What?
is written by someone who fails to understand that Rorschach isn't supposed to be an aspirational or cool character.
This.
Okay.
I'll let you continue. Sorry, I won't interrupt.
No, it's so cringy. Like, what? Batman is nothing like Rorschach. Some people have a hate boner for Rorschach.
I was thinking that too. Did she forget what the point of this was? I mean, they're very clear that he's supposed to be kind of this hermit and type of dude who doesn't care about, his Bruce Wayne persona. He's supposed to be this sort of muted dude.
Yeah, I don't know. The Batman never finds decent footing in a way that amounts to anything. The movie has a very long time making it the big screen, and despite all the pieces being there to work, it just doesn't. I love how it says, like, it goes on to describe the villains, and it says, the Riddler is a serial killer from Seven.
What?
Like, I've seen a lot of people compare it to, like, Seven and those type of movies, and I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah, to me, that's not a good criticism, or yeah, it's a bad criticism because I think Seven's a great movie.
And yes, Seven's the one. There was another one they compared it to by the same maker, but like, that's awesome. I remember being fucking haunted by Seven. Like that last scene where she's like, "What's in the box? What's in the box?" Oh my god.
Well, I knew about it because it was a meme. Like I knew all about the box thing, so it didn't freak me out as much. But I know what you're saying. It's very disturbing.
It really, really is. Then we've got Carmine Falcone, generic mob boss 1. The Penguin is generic mob boss 2. Catwoman is just there.
Okay.
All right. This one's just kind of hard on it, right? She says he looks like he's in desperate need of a haircut and eyeshadow primer.
What does this have to do with anything?
I don't know. I think she's just butthurt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe she really didn't like the movie, and that's fine. But like, these criticisms seem rather picky.
They're weak as hell.
Yes, you ready for super weak as hell? Oh my god!
Excited.
Oh my god! So first off, I gotta preface this review from the Daily Wire because have you ever seen those videos of like people going, "Oh my god, I'm trying to think of the websites that they don't like Gizmodo or IO9.
Mm-hmm.
They're a website for this. Why are they reviewing this? Or why are they talking about politics? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Okay. So we got to go over the Daily Wire. Oh my God. White privilege and dismantling systems.
Why?
It's gonna get worse. I promise you.
Hey,
I promise you.
I just wanted to point out.
What's that? Go ahead.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to point out figure drawing. I completely agree with what you're saying. Every once in a while, I'll watch one of Grace Randolph's non-spoiler reviews out of curiosity.
Yes.
And she'll put stuff in there that's a spoiler or things that sort of easily imply spoilers, and she doesn't realize it. I'm like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, she's really bad about it, but I'm itching to know. That's the sad thing. I am itching to know, so I'm like, I gotta watch something. I think I watched another one too. Maybe it was Boba Talks, who does a pretty decent job, but it was like an hour long. I'm like, I can't sit through an hour right now. Like,
yeah.
How can you do a non-spoiler review for a 3-hour movie that's an hour long without getting into spoilers? I can't do non-spoiler reviews. I haven't learned that ability yet.
I'd rather wait and just throw it all out there.
What is this? I don't care if somebody is live. Okay. From the gritty 1970s era look, to hint at our hero may suffer from some sort of psychosis. Thank you, Captain Obvious. It's fairly clear that writer-director Matt Reeves wants his Batman to be viewed in the same vein as the polarizing Joker. The problem is, unlike the latter film, the Batman has no artistic courage. It allows mumbled references to white privilege.
What?
Okay. They said mumbled references. I can guarantee, I would bet $100 that it says nothing about white privilege. My guess is Bruce Wayne's white. That's my guess. And that's all it is.
I was going to completely agree with you. It probably has to do with the whole rich billionaire thing and that he's white.
Yes. And vague allusions to dismantling structures to stand in for a real point of view. Gotham is corrupt as fuck.
Right?
This is all centered around a mayoral race of corrupt people and one good one running. Yeah. I think Gotham needs to go scorched earth if it was a real place.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm gonna say something that might be controversial. I don't live there, so okay, no, it makes it more insulting since I don't live there. But I know people who are from Baltimore City, which that's the one thing I would compare it to. You know, Baltimore is kind of a cesspit. And a good friend of mine is actually from there, doesn't live there anymore, and they were like, Gotham City is just Baltimore, and it's like, it's just a dump. I mean, it's realistic.
I was going to move to Maryland when I was real young. And at the time, my friend was telling me, okay, so when you have to go to this, because we had college picked out and everything. Mm-hmm. And my friend was like, okay, so when you go to school, you got to actually take the long way around because you want to avoid this corner of Baltimore. And it was like,
oh gosh,
I didn't realize how bad it was. But yeah, that's a pretty good Gotham needs cheeses, Bianca. That's right. So, unlike previous Dark Knight franchises, this movie assumes we will know the entire origin. Okay, I guess that's kind of a spoiler, but not really. I mean,
yeah.
All right. Thus, we catch up in the action in media res with Bruce Wayne growling that he can't be everywhere before deciding which of Gotham criminal elements he will target on a bleak, rainy night, or on the next bleak, rainy night, or on the night after that. The version of Gotham exists in strange weather vortex in which all nights are bleak and rainy.
Okay. Well, first, I just want to say they're saying we're supposed to assume that we know the origin of Batman. I mean, if you don't know the origin of Batman, there's a problem if you can't just Google that and figure it out because it's been done so many times. But the Dark Knight trilogy has that gloomy sort of weather vortex that they described as well.
Gotham? I'm guessing she's never read a comic book. I'm guessing she's probably never seen anything but the shows. I could be wrong, of course. She could be the biggest fan. But generally in the comics, it's nasty there. Like, I think the only time they've really, there's been a couple times, but more recently, in one Dark Knight, they emphasized the sun and the heat and it being real, summer day. But like, generally, that is Gotham.
No, exactly. It's like they're mad because it's everything it should be.
Yes, exactly. So we're comics accurate so far.
Yeah, exactly.
But while Batman is heading small-time hoods, a serial killer is targeting the city's ruler class, including the mayor, the district attorney, and the chief of police, leaving a riddle calling card for the hero at each of his grisly murder scenes. As Bruce tracks down the clues, he draws into the darkest corners of Gotham's underbelly, crossing paths with the waitress in a gangster's nightclub who knows more about criminal connections of the political elite than she's willing to admit. Okay. From there, the movie mostly unfolds as like a police procedural as Batman and Lieutenant Gordon, Jeffrey Wright, dogs their killer step, trying to prevent him from striking again. Eventually, we will get the superhero staple where our bad guy will plot to destroy the city, but it's long, really long, 3 hours, again with the runtime.
Oh my god.
Circular routes, and most of the stops along it never risen above the mediocre. Where are
She
we
doesn't
getting?
really she's saying these things, but she's not really giving us a good reason or even a reason at all why it's a problem. She's just listing things that are supposed to be there, like you said, comics accurate or whatever.
And she goes on. I'm not going to read all of it, but there are parts I want to read because it gets really bad. She talks about the romance kind of being monotone. Um, Actually, that's not the first time I heard that. I did hear in that Grace Randolph review, she said they were both great separately. They didn't have a lot of chemistry together.
Okay.
From what I've seen so far, I disagree. But then again, they've got that real life experience of seeing it, so fine, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
He's got a one note performance. It is the problem is it attempts to embody. Here we go. I love it. It's just so cringy. The problem is that it attempts to embody the current leftist ethos of deconstructing systems we once believed represented the common good, and that included the superhero system that created Batman. Okay. Conservative viewers, though, don't you worry. You will appreciate the irony that a government run charitable program eventually becomes a haven for racketeering and money laundering. No, that doesn't sound plausible fucking at all.
Why? So they're what? It's like they came to watch this movie based on politics.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Basically, it's saying that everything's corrupted. Thank you. Again, that is Gotham. Oh, my goodness. So, it goes on. It says Bruce Wayne, about unraveling Riddler's mystery, also begins unraveling his own identity. This is something different than the fascinating populist issues Christopher Nolan's explored, though that factors in. Here we begin questioning whether his founding mythology based on the concept of his father as a good man, invaluable public servant is accurate. I do think. Have you ever played the Telltale Batman games by chance?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I finished the entire thing.
Do you remember the storyline with the father like being more corrupt than usual?
Yes, and that's what I think of when I think of this movie. I heard they're gonna kind of include that stuff, right?
Yep, and I think that's exactly what it is. There was one part I really wanted to read. I'm trying to see here. Oh, Bruce Cape crusading since uncomfortably alongside today's progressive ideology that view generational wealth as inherently decadent and wicked. What?
What? Hold on. Let me reread that. Where
Money is bad, apparently. And Tony Stark gets it right, but even that might require some greater justification in Kevin Feige's phase 4 trajectory.
I feel like this has gone off on a really unrelated tangent. Where are they going with this?
Yeah. It's really bad. Batmobile was standing. He was never much of a techie. Mind you, we're coming into this on year 2, right?
Right.
So he's brand new.
Yeah. I don't see that's another one where I don't see the criticism.
Oh, wait, though. Don't worry, you will. Because the
God.
money his father had, this movie makes clear, is a problem.
What? Muddied by privilege as well.
Yes. He is muddled by privilege.
Did they
Others
butcher?
have been orphaned and they didn't have his father's money.
Did they misspell muddled? Because they spelled it muddied.
Oh, muddied. I'm okay. I just said it wrong.
I feel like that could be incorrect on their part though, because muddled sounds better.
Yeah, it does. Wait, I can't. Oh my god, I can't. Okay. That said, these ideas are only flirted with, not fleshed out. it doesn't feel as intentional as virtue signaling, and it's certainly a long way from a deliberate theme. So basically it's not there.
Right, what?
It more feels like Reeves is a writing partner just absorbed with the tedious Twitter level ideology of the
What?
1619 Project and
What?
unconsciously allowed it to bleak over in a paint by number uh, genre script.
What am I reading? Oh my gosh. This
That's
what I'm at a loss for words. Like Chuck Skill said, they hate rich people, right? I feel like that's a problem. This woman is mad at someone. I don't know if she recently broke up with some rich guy and she's like taking her anger out on the closest thing that I don't I don't know.
She is super mad about money.
That was really cringy.
Yeah, and then it says they made an effort to explore the idea of Bruce as a product of Thomas Wayne's inequitable privilege. I mean, privilege is a real thing. Let's be real, okay?
Mhm.
Not a big deal. This is Gotham. Thomas Wayne, Bruce Wayne, they're gonna be more privileged. The
Yeah.
movie might have actually been more interesting. At least it would have given viewers some meaty political ideas to argue over. Unfortunately, this Batman isn't interesting or original enough to even warrant that.
At least it would have given viewers some meaty political ideas to argue over. Why would that be a good thing?
I mean, maybe just basic
Discussion.
discussion. Yeah.
Okay, because if she said discussion, that would have been fine. The way she worded it, she's like to argue. I'm like, okay, what?
I just
Was she drunk when she wrote this? Like, I feel like she had to be like on like. I mean that literally. Like, I'm just sorry. I'm
I
just at a loss for words. I'm wondering how we got there. That's kind of where I'm going with that. How did she get to that point?
I'm thinking that she is way too obsessed with
Yeah,
her
yeah,
ideology. She's an ideologue, right?
yeah,
It's become her identity. You know how they give shit to LGBTQ people all the time about it being their identity and being
yeah,
obsessed with it?
yeah,
This is what happens on the other side. And they both, I mean, obviously sometimes that happens. But
yeah.
this is clearly like the same issue. Like,
Mhm.
just sit through a movie and enjoy it. If it's a movie that is made to be political, fine. But stop acting like Bruce Wayne would not be privileged. Being a billionaire.
Right.
I, I,
But you're right. Well, you're completely right, and I agree. It's like she didn't even. It's kind of like, all right, is it a good movie or not? She didn't need to go. She completely lost the plot. She didn't even know. How do I put it into words? All she had to do was review the movie and say if it's good or not. And I know it's not necessarily as simple as that, but she completely
lost the boat.
missed the point. Yeah, she missed the point completely. And like you said, she's so obsessive. It's like it's her identity to just make this the most absurd thing. I'm just, what the hell?
There was, and I'm trying to look for it down here. There was somebody trying to say something about a non-binary Two-Face. And I'm like,
What?
what? What are you talking about? Like, this is dumb articles like this are what my biggest problem is with the culture war. Because then you have people that take it at face value because they think they can trust the Daily Wire or they think they can trust CNN or they think, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like,
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and instead of judging something for themselves, they say, well, it's good we're getting a non-binary Two-Face. I mean, and actually in all seriousness,
Yeah.
that would kind of work in a way like
Yeah.
so in Batman Earth 1 uh volume 3, Two-Face was gender bent. It was actually his sister, but
Okay.
she like channeled Harvey, right?
Gotcha.
So like, you know, the dichotomy of good versus evil was kind of done with the dichotomy of male and female, right? So like it
Right.
would kind of work, but boy, someone is ass hurt that their politics weren't shown. I'm
It's stuff like this that's so ridiculous that I have a hard time interpreting it and making anything of it because it's so stupid.
it is. And especially when a lot of the reviews are seeing it where and it's just like, well, this was, dumb fun.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
okay.
And I had a question. So you mentioned the whole sorry, I'm blanking. The Selena and Batman relationship. Um Now you said Grace Randolph said it.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I don't have hate towards Grace Randolph at all, but I don't always trust everything she says either, which I know you feel the same about trusting her.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But my thing is I feel like they're not necessarily meant to have this immediate that like deep romantic connection because the relationship has always been like over time. So I'm curious to know if that's just like a more harsh criticism on Grace's part. You know what I'm saying?
She always hates on DC properties. Always.
Yeah.
Like I went really hard at it too, Birds of Prey, but she went even harder on it. Like she's gotten arguments with the director. She always
Yes.
hates on DC properties.
Uh huh.
And she's like, basically the point of her being in the DC fandom is because she like
Mhm.
is on the Zack Snyder's dick.
Yeah.
And so everything that is not Snyder related, she doesn't like. Like she's just like, no. No, oh my god, they disrespected Superman.
Well,
I
she
just ugh.
Yeah, and I've heard that like her scoops lately apparently are accurate just based on like a really good account that has good scoops. They claim that she's the truth. She's like tells the truth for the most part, but she makes
Mhm.
these weird assumptions about things, and I couldn't disagree with them more. Does that make sense? Like I feel
Oh,
like she
totally.
makes the most bizarre, yeah, just strange assumptions.
And it's weird because like some of her other stuff, like she does it's called movie math, right? So
Yes.
she'll go through like, all the box office for the week, what the Nielsen's are. And I enjoy that type of stuff just because I really like numbers.
Oh,
Like
same.
I like being able to see how things are doing, how things are projecting. I like looking at patterns and she
Mhm,
does a good job with that. And I usually watch that just
mhm.
because she's the only one that does it. But like her scoops and stuff, sometimes when it comes to the DC stuff, she's really like a Zack Snyder puppet. So she really tries to that's why I don't believe her stuff when it comes to DC, like this Supergirl and Batgirl thing, right? The DCU guys. I don't necessarily believe all of it. I do believe the Batgirl part, but I also think she likes her attention and she likes starting shit.
Yeah, no, I agree. I completely agree. I think you're right, especially about the Zack Snyder thing. Like, she's obsessed with him, like you said, because they have that like connection. Um, but yeah, she's always just had the most bizarre criticisms. Because wasn't she fired from Marvel a long time ago?
I think she was fired from both Marvel and DC.
Oh shit, both.
Yes. And I know she's written some stuff, but I don't think it's too much. If I remember correctly, it was only like maybe one or two things. I don't know.
Okay, because I remember hearing that rumor because I know she's really hard on Marvel too for strange things. I don't know. I guess it's everything except for Zack Snyder. But Figure Drawing says she goes on about hair and movies. I've noticed that too. Like she'll be like, "Oh, I don't like the hair."
I mean, that's a girl thing. I could give her that. I can give her like yeah, she does go. She always talks about how perfect their hair on in Marvel and stuff, but like that's a girl thing. Like I'll look at their shoes and shit too. So I can't even hate on that. But like
No, it's
PKL
fine.
says she's he doesn't like that she goes on about diversity. I don't even mind that too much, but yeah, she'll go on about it when it's unneeded to a point. But I don't have an issue with either really. But I just think she fuels the fandom of hate, and it drives me insane.
Yeah, and Joseph, your comments making me laugh. You said she got fired from Subway for farting.
Oh
What?
no. That's so funny.
But yeah,
So,
sorry, just I blanked, but yeah, I mean, I think overall this movie's gonna do very well. I mean, it already is doing very well. You know, even the minor criticisms. I actually heard Grace Randolph even say, you know, the minor sort of negatives aren't even that bad. Like it's overall really
yeah,
good.
like and that's pretty big of her. That's why I was like, hell yeah. I
Yeah.
can't wait. It's going to be so good. I'm so excited. So I don't know if you've heard this. Seeing it tomorrow. Wait. Tomorrow's
What?
Wednesday. How are you seeing it tomorrow? Hot takes. Tell me your secrets.
Are
I
you in the
need to know them.
UK? It could be UK.
That's it. That's exactly it.
Because my Come Geek Some is in the UK and he sees stuff before me. I'm like, fuck you, Dan. I'm like this
That's awesome.
asshole.
So, I don't know if you've heard this. We're gonna transition a little bit here.
Mhm.
Um, Yesterday, this article came up on Bleeding Cool, and basically, it was, my God, DC has been evicted from. I'll find the article real quick, but basically, it was DC got evicted from their offices.
What?
Let me see if I can find the article real quick. It's probably, yep. Here we
Is
go.
this true?
Okay, I'm going to explain the situation because I've already seen people running with it. And I wanted to make sure I knew hello Bianca is back. Yes. Um I wanted to make sure I knew what I was talking about last night. So I made sure that I talked to Comics by Perch beforehand. I'm like, yeah, this isn't, people are running with this, and it's completely blown out of proportion. So what's happening here? I think I seen 2 or 3 people already make videos about it. Oh my god, they went woke, so they went broke, right? Right, guys? Okay. Basically, there's the type of art office that they previously had was your typical office. You
Okay.
had, say you were the senior editor, you had a door, you could close it, right? That's
Mhm.
what you think of when you think of an office, right?
Yeah.
So what they're going to is called a hot desk, and it's an open floor plan.
Okay.
That's it. That's the whole story.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's actually costing them quite a bit of money, this kind of move that they're doing. It is it's an upgrade, basically. In their eyes, they think it's more modern. They think it's
Yeah.
something that, people, they can, not only that, but they can kind of have a better eye on them. But that is not even the point. The whole point is this is costing them money. They're upgrading the offices, and people are going, it's over. The end of DC Comics is nigh.
So, where did this get lost in translation, or did someone just purposely twist it to fit their narrative? Basically, that right? That's it.
Yes. Yeah, I figured it was coming. Oh my goodness.
The thing is, I feel like people need to realize you can make a video questioning it. Like you could be like, "Is this rumor correct that they got evicted? Was that the terminology? They got evicted?"
Evicted.
Yeah,
Evicted.
they can make a video discussing it without, pushing a narrative. You could be like, "Oh, there's this rumor, but here's the truth." I can't believe people. Oh my gosh, my soul hurts in my brain.
I think it's fair to look and be like, hey, what's going on before I make the video. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I don't think people fly because YouTube's so topical, right? You have to get things
Yeah.
out quick or it's
Mhm.
out, by the next day. Even if I get my Batman review out by Friday, there's gonna be so many. Come on, Pop
Oh, yeah.
Socket.
Guys, she went to go get her prune juice. Silence. I don't know what just happened. Hey, everybody. It's me, Dr. Soup.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, everything good?
Yeah, I need a new Pop Socket. And I hit it just right and it unplugged my whole mic. I'm sorry, guys.
No problem. I told the audience you were going to get your prune juice. It's all good. You
Just
know,
put, was Nerda evicted just now? Yes, I was evicted. I am
guys,
sorry.
guys,
Uh,
when you get over the age of 60, things get difficult on you, okay?
yes, yeah, you need that prune juice. Use a little Splenda. There you go.
A little spoon. Does that actually like make you go?
We use prune juice for old people all the time. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, like it is gross as it is. Yeah. So
But Splenda though, does that do it?
no, I was just kidding. Splenda's like the sweetener, you know.
Yeah. I didn't know because I've actually heard. I know a doctor myself. I'm kidding, but I know a doctor who said that like Splenda does that. But anyway, this. Sorry for the medical talk, guys. We'll continue.
Yes. So yeah, even Perch made it clear this was planned out before the pandemic. Yes, this is actually
Interesting.
so the whole let me get it shared again. I did not mean to do that. My pop socket's driving me crazy. I've got it twisted, all mangled up, and I need to get it under control.
Are you streaming from a phone? You said pop socket?
What's it called? Not a pop socket.
Because I didn't.
Um,
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'm pretty sure you're on a computer. I was confused.
yeah, I am. A
Uh,
filter socket.
there you go. There
Pop
you go. Yeah.
filter. Pop
Pop
filter.
filter. Okay. I gotcha.
There we go. I'm a little slow. Sorry, guys. I
No
actually
problem.
don't have a pop socket because I have to charge my phone wirelessly. Stupid phone.
I feel
Open
you on that.
open floor pans are cheaper than a permanent lease. Yes, hot seats are. The point is that they actually had to spend more via my information, which I already said who it was, but it does. I mean, just saying. They had to spend more in order to get this established. Basically, this has been in the works for years now that they are going back to permanently being in the office because the pandemic's, slowed down and everything. Thank you, Comics and Finance, by the way. I'm sorry I didn't say thank you. That was rude. Thank you very much. But
When oh, sorry, go ahead.
but this has been in plan for a while. And now that the pandemic is settled down, they're going back into the offices doing less Zoom meetings, which they would, do weekly, like the Batman people would get together. And then,
Yeah.
the Superman family. And now they're going to be able to do this on an open floor plan in the middle of a building and go back and have face to face. And a lot of it's editorial and stuff also. But this has been in the works for quite some times. And saying that basically they're being evicted is not only completely untrue, it is fabricated and twisting a simple move for a narrative.
And that's really sad because I guess I guess the reason is they need content, and whatnot. But it's just so funny to me that a lot of the people who report on that stuff and twist the narrative, they're like, "Oh, don't just believe everything you hear. The media is terrible. Don't listen to CNN and don't listen to these other people." But we're gonna do the same thing they do.
Well, oh my God, yes, they twist facts and then make up shit, and it's ridiculous. Yesterday, probably evening, I would say, within an hour or two of I think it was Ethan Van Sciver making a video about this, I had 2 separate comments saying, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear DC got evicted." I'm like,
What?
"Oh my God." So I started to look for information, and that's when I emailed Perch, and I'm like, "What's going on? I think I found the source of it." And he told me what was going on, but like the whole situation's ridiculous. Like, it's
Yeah.
simply a move. It's actually costing them money. It's something that has been in the works. And now you are getting people saying that they're downsizing or being evicted, and all of which isn't true. They're just not relying on Zoom near as much anymore.
Right. Oh my gosh. This is
It's
this is another one. Sorry, I genuinely like when I don't say much, it's because I don't know what to say to stupidity sometimes. Like this is it's a non-issue. Like this is
it's
just
not an
not.
issue at all.
Yeah, this is such a
You're right.
non-issue. That's my thing. It's literally so trivial. Why?
Content. That's the only thing I can think of.
Right, that's the only reason.
Manipulation.
Like yeah, I mean, yeah, for real. It's like, yeah, okay, we can twist the narrative to get content. But my question is, I guess, and I don't say this to be disrespectful, but I'm assuming we have or some of these channels have a very misinformed and ignorant audience.
Absolutely.
Because if they were actually looking into this and finding out the facts, these channels would probably not have the subscribers that they do have.
Yeah, and even so a lot of it, I think, like I said at the beginning, I think a lot of it is being a fan of the culture war and not of the comics. You know what I mean? Crisis
Yeah, sorry, I was
Untimely
muted.
Death.
I muted myself and didn't realize it. Oh, I was saying, why did it just pop in my head? Like I was thinking we're gonna see comments like that one video you did on Ezra Miller.
Oh my goodness.
it just
No.
it just came into my mind. I'm like, oh my gosh, are these gonna be like that? I don't know why. It was just like this comment thread.
Max, I cannot wait for your review. I am curious because I know you have a bias. I am curious what you think of it. I'm so excited. They need their confirmation bias. Contact's bad. Exactly. Infamy. My audience is misinformed. They listen to me after all. That is true. That is well, yeah, sure.
Like me being here talking to her, I feel stupider and stupider every moment. Like it's
I
the
know.
worst thing.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Thank you, Robert, by the way. I poor bastard hot desk. Yeah, hot desking's not fun, but still I don't see an issue. I've never really done the whole when it comes to nursing, it's all hot desking. You all share a nurse's station. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't see an issue with it.
Yeah, for real. Like
Not getting an interact with your friend. Yeah, and then it also gives them the option of, if they have to, comics are the perfect medium to work from home. You don't have to go into the office, right? Like a lot of times. So I don't know. It's a non-issue that's been made into one.
well,
Really,
exactly
really dumb
that.
one.
Sorry, I'm just looking. I get distracted by the comments sometimes.
Oh, I do too.
Black Phoenix says hot desking sounds dirty.
Everything you say sounds. Wait, what's FD mean?
Yeah, I've never heard that abbreviation.
I haven't either. I'm
Robert
old.
did hot desking. You're disgusting, Robert. Just kidding.
Oh, I get it. Never mind. Okay, all right. So there's another thing that everyone's upset about. Are you super excited?
I can't wait.
So, have you ever heard of just because you're not as huge of a into the comics
Mhm.
on Gordon? I'll show you.
Yeah, hominis. I deal with assholes all the time. That was a bad joke.
Because she's a proctologist, duh. So, have you ever seen? Okay, so this is Beyond the White Knight. This is what's going to be coming out now. White Knight is phenomenal.
Okay.
Like one of the more, as far as more recent Batman stories in the last 5 years or so, one of the best. A
Okay.
lot of people love it. It sold so well it got its own Murphyverse. Whereas
Interesting.
it's its own thing, right? And he got an Harley Quinn spinoff, and now we're getting
Okay.
Beyond the White Knight. People love this thing.
Okay. I got
Terry McGinnis is coming. Everyone's excited, right? Until he's race swapped. Like,
Oh, so they're right. It's funny. It just takes one poke, doesn't it, just to get
yes.
people upset, right?
Like, it's hilarious to me that we see these people saying they're snowflakes, but have no self-awareness to realize how easily they're triggered.
Well, that's the thing. It's like a lot of these people calling things out, like you said, they're like, "Oh my gosh, people are snowflakes and all that." And it's like, "Okay, so you're getting offended over this. It's you can't have both."
Well, the thing is with this, it was such a simple mistake. It was such like a silly, it wasn't even a mistake. Like Sean Gordon Murphy, the writer, simply thought that Terry McGinnis was Asian. That was it. The way he looked in the cartoon, he just assumed. So he just went with it.
Yeah, so okay. So that's what the problem is. They misinterpreted that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he says, based seemingly on the false assumption of a number of Batman fans that desire okay, so he didn't even say Sean Gordon Murphy said that. He said fans said that. The animated series universe successor of the cow, Terry was born of the first son of Mary and Warren McGinnis. Yeah. We get it. You have Google. However, thanks to the slim eyes and black hair of Terry's character designs, many fans came to falsely believe that the futuristic Gotham crime fighter possesses some sort of Asian heritage.
Oh, by the way, one of my favorite lines of yours is when you're like, "Thank you for proving you have Google, honey." I love it.
It's so easy, like it with everything being at our fingertips. It's you're not proving anything by telling me this stuff. Like,
Exactly.
yeah. So it says, yet despite the interpretation of Terry's ethnicity being nothing more than headcanon, Murphy's version of the young crime fighter will take inspiration from the misconception about the hero, establishing him as having some sort of level of Asian background when he debuts in the 5th entry of White Knight. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, right. Okay.
The trick with Terry for me was how to make him a little different. I didn't want it just to be a mirror exactly what happened in Batman Beyond cartoon. I wanted to make it unique, but sort of familiar. Again, a non-issue.
Yeah, right. Non-issue. No problem.
One of the things I wanted to do was make him half Asian. I didn't realize this, but a ton of people, including myself, always include Terry was half Japanese and half Irish or something. Yeah, I,
Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought so.
And this again, like you were saying, a non-issue. I mean, what? It's why? I think, a friend of mine said once, I think what people do is they have a dartboard with a bunch of things that they can get offended on, right? About. And they wake up each day and they throw a dart at a topic and they'll be like, let me look into this topic. Oh, I guess I'm offended by this today.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
And to be fair, and I know you agree with this, I think it's safe to say it happens on both sides. It's just the outrage in general. People need to go outside and just take a walk.
The outrage I see more on the nerd culture side is usually, maybe I just don't see it because I'm not on Twitter. But even when it comes to like BreadTube and stuff, I never see people get upset about this kind of silliness on the left. But I know it. I'm not saying it doesn't happen because it does. It's just I don't see those spaces. I have no interest in those spaces.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on the thing, like with Twitter and all that. I mean, I only use it as a like promotion thing because I don't even want to see it if I can, even if I can find it. You feel me?
Yeah, exactly. And I see videos constantly about this stuff. This looks to me just exactly. I mean, he. I don't get it. He looks exactly Asian to me. I don't see why people are upset.
Yeah, I
Let's
didn't.
see what the comments say. Oh God.
Oh, whoa. Okay, this person's starting off strong. I love the comments.
Oh my goodness. Well, it's a pass for me. The original Batman cartoon was great. Yes, it was. So you're going to pass because of that.
Yeah, a path. What? Okay.
Oh my goodness.
What? I'm not.
There goes hope. There goes hope for this comic.
Sometimes I find it hard to follow along with the comments too underneath this stuff because sometimes they're just. I feel like they're just venting something totally unrelated.
Yeah, pretty much. How bold and original. Yeah, it's not original. I'll give him that. Well, I'm out. Were you really gonna buy it anyway? Let's be honest here. All my hope got flushed down the toilet.
I saw that one. Oh my gosh. Oh, what a bummer. And like you said though, they've already decided that they're offended by it.
Yes.
So you're not going to buy it. So what's the outrage? I've never understood that. You don't enjoy partaking in this activity, so why be so offended about it? Just move on.
And we've got the victim complex coming in. What a white male. This is an Elseworld story that has nothing to do with continuity. This is based solely on Sean Gordon Murphy's brain and what he envisioned. Nobody cared that we had a Neo Joker, a girl version of Joker. Nobody cared that Harley had 2 children and that Barbara was a bitch in this. But this.
Oh, I love this. Oh my gosh, everyone knows white males will be extinct, but what?
Oh my God, I didn't even see that.
That comment! Everybody knows white males will be extinct by then to be replaced by vaguely ethnic lesbians.
Ah! Holy fuck!
The sides of their heads shaved. What the fuck? That's
Girl, what are you on?
I feel like this is getting like Alice Evans level of crazy. Remember those text messages we were reading? Like,
oh yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
Their verbiage and just terminology. Oh my gosh, what's happening?
In fantasy, I die. Hello. Thank you so much. Sorry I haven't been on as much.
Hello.
Work has been crazy and then the early months of the year. Thank you for fighting the good fight. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm glad to see you're still around though. Yeah, this is a white that's obviously a joke. Is it though? I've seen so many comments like that. Like obviously he's being hyperbolic. But come on, you can't have that big of a victim complex.
That was actually really funny. Whether it was a troll or not, it was just, wow.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sure there's more.
Another disgusting race swap.
These terrible comics will never mimic its greatness. I'm waiting for them to say something about communism.
Oh my God, yeah. And they'll be like, "Oh, CRT. It must be the CRT that's getting to them." All those commies out there.
These comments are so good. Not gonna lie, I wasn't gonna read
At
it
least they're
anyway.
honest.
I was gonna say that's actually a fair point. I mean, it is.
Yeah. Hey, why Black Phoenix? Why is Coochie Vagina is his name. As long as he's being decent, let him talk. It's obviously not about diversity. Oh my god, please. Now tell me it's satire. Infamy, come on. It's not about diversity. It's about erasing and hating white people in general and straight, cis, Christian, physically fit. I was just waiting for the word alpha. That's it. Or Chad. White males, most of all. Bro, you can't be serious. You forgot Republican!
Hold on. Let me reread this. I got distracted. Obviously not. It's about hating and erasing white people in general. Where did they get that from?
I don't know. It's, you know what? Actually, I do. So the thing is, when you listen to, I guess I would say the same type of content so often, when you listen to people telling you this is happening so often, like, I have no issue with them not liking it. That's their prerogative. I think it's stupid. You do you, though, right? Like, this is one of the best modern stories being told in a very long time. I am going to enjoy the fuck out of it and very likely review it. But when you sit here and listen to the same rhetoric over and over and over again, telling you basically bullshit, same talking points though, right?
Yeah.
White people, they hate you. They hate you. Who hates you? Do you realize like 800 people, like 700 to 800 people, including inkers, including artists, including writers, including people that are editing, including letterers. You realize like that's like 800 employees a month for DC Comics. And you think all of them hate you because one person had a mean tweet.
Well, and that's right. That's the thing is like, why they assume the worst so much. It's like, yeah, I mean, that's like my best explanation for that is I feel like they're just looking for the worst within it.
Like, even if you go through and you name people that maybe are shitty on social media, it's going to be like 2% of the people that make books each month.
Right, exactly. And I have to say the comment section is my favorite.
Oh my god.
Like, I always get a kick out of it. It doesn't matter if it's, crazy or something I do or don't agree with. I think it's funny.
It makes me laugh because I may laugh at it, like I may be a little bit mean about it, but if you really believe that stuff, it's time to start venturing off of social media. It's time to start listening to opposing views and maybe understanding where they come from. It's time to start really looking at the big picture instead of the one person that hurt your fifis.
Right, and it's a lot of that confirmation bias. I think somebody talked about it earlier in the comments, just like, yeah, no, I agree completely.
Robert said, oh, I get this a lot. Why do you defend these people that hate you? Really? They never treated me badly. Yes, I get this a lot. Why do you defend? Why do you defend? And I'm like, I have so many videos of me not defending, of me saying like, T. Franklin should have kept her mouth shut, or Vita Ayala should have kept her mouth shut. But you're talking about one person as compared to a whole company. Like, it's not just one person. Even talking about one comic book, you don't just have one person that works on that book. And then
Right.
you gotta also include, like, people that do the printing and the local comic book shop, or the people that get it ready the PDF ready for digital. You have to include there's a lot of people that make one book happen, one simple book.
Well,
I am
you
not
know,
going to damn a whole industry because of that. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
no, sorry, I'm interrupted you, but I was just gonna say that really kind of reminds me. It makes me think of the whole like Warner Brothers argument with like Amber Heard and Aquaman and stuff. I've had people call me a hypocrite for wanting to see the Batman, and I can understand if somebody doesn't want to support something. That's completely
Right.
their choice, but I will never see another Aquaman movie. I will never give it my money because that's like directly benefiting Amber in a sense. But if I really want to see a movie, I'm not going to just, be offended and be like, oh my gosh, I can't see it. Like, I'm just going to do what I want to do.
That actually Bianca makes a really good point because you
Yeah.
get this you get this a lot, right? And that was the whole reason, Comicsgate started because of diversity and mean people online. So people push back. They didn't like that. But then it became this thing about we're offended over everything
Yes.
instead of just creating and liking what you do. Like, I have no problem whatsoever with these communities that exist that put out indie comics, and they kind of use it as networking and all sell to each other. That's great. If that's what you enjoy, do it. Do what you enjoy in life. But don't sit here and say, I'm offended because I'm a potential customer, when almost every single one of those people that I could be in a potential customer of have treated me like absolute dog shit. So if
Hmm.
that's the case, then you guys are a bunch of fucking hypocrites.
It's the truth. I mean, I laugh because it's that I'm at a loss for words again. That
Yes.
argument, like back to what she was saying, what was it? They're offended because they're potential customers. And also, I mean, how many you're not buying every single comic that comes out there. How many different like iterations and types and whatnot of comics are there? Like just because there's something out there you disagree with doesn't mean you're not going to find something you enjoy.
Exactly. And a lot of people, and that's why I did a video about a week ago about the increase of indie comics that are selling so well. Something is killing the children, Invincible. Some of these smaller properties that we wouldn't have seen thriving years ago are absolutely doing amazing, and that's because people are able to go outside of the normal like superhero genre and able to get horror, or able to get a political story that they might like more, or able to
Right.
get a slice of life story. And those exist and thrive for a reason. People like that. So don't, like Robert's saying here, the irony is blame all comic pros, but when they get blamed for something, they say we're individuals, judge us individually. It goes two ways. It absolutely goes two ways.
And we've talked about this before. Do you think some of these people are aware they're hypocrites, but they kind of just push the idea out of their mind, or are they generally genuinely convinced of their argument?
I would say I think a good portion of them towards the top of the food chain know,
Yeah.
but when I believed this stuff, I didn't realize it. It took me stepping back.
Well, when I was going to say the same, when I believed a lot of this stuff, I didn't realize it at the moment, but then I sort of slowly got there because I did have times where I'd be like, wait a second, that they made a good point. But then I kind of
Yes.
retracted and then tried to ignore the fact that maybe my side or my views aren't the only ones that are correct. And I'm really glad that I got out of that sort of brainwashed, state.
And it's weird to me because like it almost took me realizing like Well, of course they use cancel culture, they just call it something different. Of course they use this, they just call it something different. I really got to the point where I had to see, like, I guess my biggest thing was I had to see opposing views because they do a really good job of otherizing people.
Yes.
And they do a good job of making and dehumanizing people. And they
Mhm.
do it like, do you know who Kelly Sue DeConnick is by chance? Have you ever seen that quote? Don't buy my books if you don't like my politics or whatever.
Is that the Captain Marvel writer
Yes. Yes.
with red hair?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I know who she is.
So it took me realizing that they were using cancel culture against her over and over again. And they were
Oh.
using everything she says. And then I was listening to her kind of speak and realizing how people really look at someone as an enemy when they have no reason to think that they're an enemy. Like, it's very likely, whether it's somebody from Comicsgate or somebody from the far left, I
Mhm.
could sit down and have a beer and get along with them. There's no reason to dehumanize them. I
Yeah,
don't
look.
have Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Sorry. No, no, I'm sorry for interjecting there. I was just gonna say I completely agree with you. Like you were saying, there's really no reason to be angry at somebody because they share a different view. Like that's it's really as simple as that because I have really good friends on, both sides of politics and I agree with them on some things, I disagree with them on other things. It's just very bizarre to me why somebody would be so angry. And I guess it's because they don't like that their views could potentially be wrong or they feel that their views are threatened in a sense.
Yes. And I also thank you for stopping by, Melvin. Have a good day at work. Um,
Bye.
Infamy, everything causes human suffering. So does capitalism. Like, look at the poor people. Like, it's just I'm definitely not a communist if that's what you're trying to get at. Um, but
Oh, we're going
basically,
to we're going to a communist convention later. What are you talking
yeah,
about?
yeah, exactly. We're going with all of our lefty friends. They have, big thick glasses and blue hair and head, the typical look that everybody dehumanizes everyone. Um,
Go ahead, sorry.
but no, I don't my issue with the ones like I said 50-50, I feel like a lot of it is that brainwashing you see on both sides. But I also know I c- I've so there was a situation with somebody rather big in that movement
Uh-huh.
that opened up my eyes when this person openly doxed somebody, and I pointed it
Oh.
out in a video. And I said, I'll remove mine. This is doxing someone. They could be in big trouble. You remove yours. Okay, cool. The next day I wake up and this person says, I can't. The senator of this person's state told me it was very important to the Republican movement and Comicsgate. This
Huh?
person needs to be doxed.
Huh?
And I said, fuck you. I am not stupid.
What?
Don't treat me like I am.
What does that even
And
mean?
yeah, 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 yeah. That's exactly what I was like. Do you think I am ridiculously dumb? Do you
That's
think I have no brain whatsoever?
I'm so confused. Like I'm still in what? That
That's
doesn't it doesn't matter what anybody says about it. If somebody doesn't want their personal information out there, you don't expose it. What kind of argument like you what?
I was just like, I feel like I'm in clown world. I am in clown world.
I
Yes.
don't understand. Like it's like to me that sounds like such a childish justification because it's like that sounds like a 10-year-old trying to justify their actions, if that makes sense.
Yes. Oh yeah. No, it completely makes sense. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm done. Right? Like I want to go back. I'm gonna bring up this other article while we're talking. Because this is another thing they complain. A lot of the complaints come down to Not really. Oh yeah, they pulled the Batman from Russia.
What?
Yeah, they pulled the Batman and they're not releasing like any movies in Russia right now.
Isn't there another country? What other country doesn't, they either don't get it at all or they'll get it like 3 months later?
At China sometimes
That's what I
they
thought.
have like super hey.
You there? I think I lost you. Hello? Can you guys in the chat hear me but not Tristan? Oh, she had to go get prune juice again. I got you, Joseph. Okay, cool. That's what it was. Trying to get special edits. Okay, that's what I thought it was. Don't they take out sensitive material or something like that? Because they're very censored.
I need to stop talking with my hands.
I'll forgive you.
Sorry.
We'll try to forgive you.
I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Oh my goodness. I think I need a new cord. Because every single time I touch either, and I have a really good mic. I have I don't know, Black Yeti X thing. It's a really good mic. My
I have
cord.
the same. Yeah, I had the shittiest laptop cord that I did not replace for the longest time. Oh shit! Did I lose you again?
No.
Okay, good. I got worried for a second. I'm like, shit.
No, I was just sharing that. China just hacked the channel, or was it Russia? It was Russia. It was the Russian bots. Ask Amber Heard.
There you go. Oh my
That's
gosh.
right.
Did you ever end up on that list?
I don't think so. Wasn't that only people on Twitter?
Yes. There was, I think, well, I feel pretty confident that she knows about everybody on YouTube, but it must be harder to get a hold of people on YouTube. But yes, that was only Twitter.
Yeah, I seen that she was going after some people and I'm like, really? Like it's hard to grasp. You know, before we go into the subject, this is a perfect time to ask.
Yeah.
What is your her new allegation?
Yes, you're asking about the R
Her
word.
Hail Mary, her rape story.
Okay, so what happened is, I think what's going on is, as you know, it just came out that they're going to be allowed to have one camera in the courtroom.
Hell
So
yeah. Just saying.
yes, so right, so we think her lawyer Elaine, was saying all that stuff about rape just to sort of be kind of a diversion in a sense. Like, we don't
Right.
even know if they're going to accuse anybody of anything. Like, I think that it's just bullshit that they put out there. I don't even think that there's any substance to it.
Nay. Thank you so much. By the way, where's the support for Nerdettes Newsstand? Thank you, nay. I'm glad you are here. I appreciate it. I always feel like I don't say thank you enough, so thank you. Okay. My question is, when the UK trial was going on, do you remember that day that they had to actually pull everybody from?
Yes.
And she was talking about, I believe it was in the Caribbean, and they didn't say what happened or anything, but it was alluded to that it was some sort of sexual violence.
Yeah, she's said that a few times, especially when she on that 3-day not a hostage situation too.
Oh my god, yeah. She was a hostage. She couldn't go anywhere. Like, he was totally keeping her there by force. She didn't totally want to be there at all. But do you think that's the situation she's talking about?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know. I feel like did she list? Hold on, for clarification, because I kind of brushed the surface of it and discussed it in a live stream. Did she allude to any kind of situation? Or are you asking if she's referring to one specifically but hasn't stated it yet?
She alluded to it in the UK trial when they
Oh,
had to
okay.
leave.
You're
So I'm
talking about.
thinking that's what she's talking about here, is that he raped her.
Oh, I follow what you're saying. Yeah. I would say possibly. I would say that it's definitely possible, yeah. Because remember, there were several situations in which she claims that it happened, but of course she can't keep her stories together. So honestly, my best guess is I don't know if she knows which one she's specifically stating.
Right. She's just, oh, camera, hey, what if I say this? What if I say
It's,
this? Maybe the camera will go away. And Judge Penny, I can't say her last name.
Penny, yeah.
She's like, nah. We're not playing those games, bitch. That's what
She's
she
really
said. She told
good.
me. She's
Yeah,
really good. She doesn't put up with bullshit.
oh no, hell no. And she's had enough of Amber's bullshit. The one good thing about that thing is, it'll be easy to stream that and have like live coverage on
I
it.
know. I'm so excited. Is that bad that I'm excited?
No, I'm excited. We're gonna, if you want to come on with us and like live stream it, because we're gonna be like doing a panel stream on that, just going all through it.
Oh
Um,
hell yes. That's I it's I shouldn't be excited, but I loved during the UK trial being able to go through the transcripts and going through Nick Wallace as he, went
mhm.
through it and being able to summarize it and go through it. And I thought it was very like you learned a lot about the people involved
Oh
and
yeah.
how manipulative they are, how twisted. You learned a lot about their psyche and I thought it was great. So to see it live, do you know if I know you guys were trying it one time. Do you know if anyone's actually going?
Yeah, so we were all going to go, but we have some. I'll put it nicely. We have some crazy people. We've gotten some threats and stuff, and it's
Yeah.
probably not it's safe to be there. But it's also like, we don't. I don't know if it's really necessary to go now, especially with the camera. So the answer's probably no for now. We're not even gonna bother because what are we gonna do? I guess, just stand around the courthouse because all of it's gonna be going on inside. Um but we have ways of getting our info. So no,
Yeah. This
the
is
short
so
answer is
much
basically no.
safer.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna be good. Like I even said last time, like, look, guys, you're not gonna get the answer you want. This time I honestly don't feel that way.
I my thing is, even though it's a jury, I find it really hard to believe that a jury could be this stupid. Like when you're laying out the facts, when you have someone good as Ben Chu and the others laying out the facts and
Yeah.
explaining things, to me, generally as a whole, I find it very hard to believe that a jury could not absorb that information and think, wow, this woman's batshit crazy. She did defame Johnny.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I know they go through the jury and want people to not know anything about the situation,
Mhm.
but that's gonna be really hard. It's
It
gonna be
is.
really hard.
It is because, well, so I don't know if you know of her, but there's a person who comes on our stream who's lovely. Her name's Linda, and she was a paralegal, so she helps us, gives us like legal knowledge and whatnot. And she was telling us that basically it's okay if the jury knows who Johnny Depp is and they know very minimal
Right.
you know what I mean? But they just can't know the whole case. But like you're saying, how do you find somebody who knows nothing? Are you just going to find a bunch of old people who live under a rock? I don't know.
Yeah, I would say it's gonna be at the bare minimum, very interesting. And he seems a lot more confident this time. And
Yeah.
like there's a lot of really good there's a lot of really good stuff that's came out since then as far as the charities and the body cams, all of that. So
Oh yeah.
it's gonna be good. Okay, I want to show you this. This is
Yeah.
another thing we were talking about. a little bit people getting offended, right? So we've had this conversation so many times about get woke, go broke. It's a
Oh my
logical
god.
fallacy, right?
Yeah.
At this point, I think it's kind of a lazy criticism.
Yeah.
Tell me why a story is bad. Was the writing bad? Were the characters underdeveloped? Was the plot full of holes? Tell me why. Don't just say it was woke. It's super lazy, in my opinion. And I think it's such a catch all term. It means nothing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It is weak. I mean, it's exactly everything you said. It's a weak criticism.
So basically, GLAD does this like yearly report where they see how many people are within television LGBTQ or I guess it's just lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender characters on television.
Hmm.
Basically, what they found out this year, and they're upset about, is that it is on television, it is at 12%. It went from 8.8 to 12%. And what's super misleading in articles like this by the overly offended is that 7.1, and I have my source right here. I can put it in the chat. Hold on. 7.1% of Americans identify as LGBTQ, with 21% of Gen Z actually being LGBTQ. So if anything, they're underrepresenting Gen Z.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
they're
No,
out.
no, I get what you're saying. It's inaccurate,
Did that go
right?
through? Did my
Yeah.
Can you guys
The
see my
link.
link in there?
Yeah. Yeah. I got your link.
Okay. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. But like getting upset that there's 12% and saying it's get woke, go broke. Now they're showing Batwoman, which is terrible writing. And a lot of people are not watching it. And the whole CW is a mess. Let's be real.
Well,
But go
that
ahead.
shot right there is actually probably one of the better ones. It looks more cinematic than anything I've seen on YouTube from it.
Like the girl that plays her
Hmm.
is super, super pretty.
Yeah.
And I it's not, I don't like when people like blame her, right? Like, because it's
Yeah.
not her fault the writing's bad. Same with shows like I used to really like Titans. I loved
Mhm.
the first 2 seasons. I was so mad when it came to season 3 because the writing literally just jumped off a cliff. Like it was so bad.
I
And
heard that.
I was like, I made a video. I like literally like was like, how can you have Bruce Wayne be a murderer? How can you have the man that is known for having a no kill rule be a murderer?
Wasn't that a dream sequence?
No. That was they did a little dream sequence in the first season. You're right about that. But in the
Okay.
third season, he killed the Joker.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yes. It's like it was a full 180. I remember reading about that. They were like, "Oh, this was so good. How do you just go that how are you that good?" And then it just turns to trash.
Yeah, and I love those characters. Like, I feel bad because like the Titans in the 80s by George Perez was amazing. Like, it's what introduced me to the Teen Titans, period. I love them. And
Mhm.
then you get this new stuff that's in the comics and it's terrible. And then you go to the show and oh my God, it's like,
Did
I want to like this. I am your target audience. What are you doing?
right, and what that happened to another show, was it Doom Patrol?
No, Doom Patrol's phenomenal.
Oh, no, okay, maybe it was a different show. The Watchmen, have you seen that?
Yeah, actually,
I
hot
thought
take. I like Watchmen.
Okay, I thought it was one because I know Watchmen does very well, and I know that Doom Patrol does too. But I heard there was somebody said that they had a problem with one of them on a recent season, but I don't know.
A lot of people were upset about Watchmen because they were like, it went woke. It went woke. Yeah. I liked it. I wasn't into it at first, and I was like, because I like Watchmen is one of those books that everybody looks at as in a very iconic light. It is legendary, right? So if you mess with Watchmen, it has to be fucking perfect. Like it
Yeah.
has to be perfect. And at first I was like, this is not good. This is not like my foot's in the sand. I'm like, no, I don't like it. And I'm like, but I love it so much. And the way they did Hooded Justice in the show was amazing. Like, so Hooded Justice in the comics originally, his identity was never known, right?
Okay.
And his identity wasn't known. They always thought he was this bodybuilder, but not really. So in the show, what they did was they went back in time when Hooded Justice was around in the 40s, and he was a black man, but he wore white face, and he painted up, and he wears a noose, and that's always been, and it was because he got beat. Like, they did this whole amazing civil rights story. It was so good, and they did it correctly. And I absolutely love. I know a lot of people don't love Hooded Justice. Like, hell yeah. It was. I'm mysterious. I loved it. And a lot of people gave it hell. I gave it hell at first because I was, looking at that book like it has to be perfect. Don't. And I didn't mind Zack Snyder's, but he took away the squids and some of the iconic parts of it. So I'm like, you got to make it perfect. And the first time I saw them, like when it was like raining squids, I'm like, yes, this is my jam.
I might have to watch it because it caught my interest. I wasn't crazy about the film itself, but that could just be because it was a little dated by the time I watched it.
And it was also very Zack Snyder.
Yes, you could tell it was very much Zack Snyder, exactly.
Yeah, and I think they do go into some racial injustices and stuff that happened during the Mystery Men, the time before Watchmen. They go into that. But of course they do. We're talking about pre-civil rights era, right? So you can't just have a story in that time period and expect everything to be like it is now.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, exactly. And that kind of ties into how there are things that were, I guess, what you would call woke way back when, 10, 15, 20 years ago that they didn't have a problem with. And then now it's like, oh my gosh.
Right. Exactly. Like there was a lot of people complain Peacemaker was so good, Tava. Absolutely phenomenal. I'm still gonna get you to watch it, I swear.
I'm so excited to watch that show. I've been so busy, I want to watch it.
It's like perfection for me. I love James Gunn's humor. I know it's like dick and fart jokes, but I'm so 4 years old most of the time that it works so good.
Speak of James Gunn, do you like Guardians of the Galaxy films? I know that's a complete different switch, but I'm curious.
They're the best Marvel movies.
Yeah, I thought Guardians 1 especially, I think is just such a good movie.
I love Coochie, what's your question? I didn't even see it. It is weird to say that like out loud. Coochie, what's your question? I mean, like,
okay,
that's a weird thing to say. But anyways, I absolutely like. I don't remember what I was talking about. Like women driving. I don't know. Oh, Guardians.
Yeah.
The thing that got me so into that initially was James Gunn has a really amazing way of incorporating music and making everything around it stick out so much. And it it amplifies everything, like to have cherry bomb. I fucking love it.
You're right about that. I didn't even think about that because I always thought he had just a great sense of, like you said, using music, but yeah, it really complements stuff. I'm very taken aback at how much I liked Nebula. Like, I think, Karen Gillan, who plays her, does so amazing because it's like you would never imagine she'd look like that,
I know, she looks great. Same with Gamora, Coochie. Yes, Dr. Soup is married to Shaquille O'Neal. Yep.
Hold on, what?
Keeps asking weird questions.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
your husband, he supports your job as a proctologist, and yeah,
Yeah, Shaquille loves my job, my proctologist job.
it's never a bad time to rock. That's right. And that's what he does so good. Like, I loved Guardians 1 for me is still the best, right? Like
Yeah.
2 was great. I like Ego. I like what they did with them. But Guardians 1 to me is yeah, I would venture to say
Great.
probably my favorite Marvel movie. Don't be rude. I'm not being rude. It's a weird question to ask.
I sorry.
Are we just nay. Are we discussing who's weird again? You would get the trophy, nay. No, I'm totally kidding. Thank you so much for the super chat.
You're right though. Guardians is a really great film. I think so too.
I love it. I love the way it stood out. You have that Marvel formula where you've got the rising action, you've got a big throwdown, and then you've got the falling action and the conclusion. It's pretty much what they do every time. It's very easy, it's very safe.
Yes.
But that was the first time I felt like they took a chance on characters that nobody cared about, really. I mean, they did, but
yeah.
And they were able to take some creative liberties because they weren't as well known. And he made everyone love.
And I think that's one of the most impressive. Okay, I think I just had a lag. Can you hear me?
Dr. Soup is married to a professional grilled cheese sandwich.
It's true.
That's right. Why did it just say my stream was having issues? Okay, I think we're good. Can you hear me okay?
Lag. Yeah, you're good now. I just had a lag. But yeah, I am married to tomato soup. That's right. But
yummy. I love tomato soup and grilled cheese. Come on now.
All right, I'm gonna eat some of that later. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this to me? But you're right.
I did see that article also, Tavia. Basically, they were mad that they talked about climate change in it.
What?
There was a new report that came out yesterday about climate change and how bad it is, and that has nothing to do with what I was just talking about. But
no, you're fine.
I don't want to say what he's talking about because I really want you to watch Peacemaker, so I don't want to give anything away. But yes, do I have nobody has a problem with questions, just ones that could tax somebody would are the ones generally you don't ask on YouTube.
Yeah, Coochie, do you want my social security number? I'll give it to you.
Yeah, make sure you do.
But no, yeah, I know what you're. Well, I think you were saying something about climate change. You're saying it relates to Peacemaker. I think I heard.
Yeah, but I don't. I want you to watch it. I think you're gonna love it.
I promise you, it's gonna happen. It's just I have a puppy who's drives me crazy sometimes. So he takes up a lot of my time and makes me want to drink. I'm kidding, but no, I spend my nights drunk because of my puppy. That's why I can't watch Peacemaker.
Oh my goodness!
But anyway,
so
sorry,
funny.
This took a turn, but I'll let you.
Oh no! But anyways, like I was saying with this article, they're mad about representation in TV again. Like, this is to a point where, like, I've said this before, but Overton's window shifts, right? Each generation becomes a little bit more progressive. You got to understand at some point you're kind of like the traditional ones, and maybe let the young ones have a little bit of a chance. If you're looking at that article, like I said, 21% of Gen Zers, now we're talking the younger generation, are LGBTQ. And you're mad about 12%. Now, with the older generation, it's more like 7, to be fair. But what even going halvesies at 15, you're still under. Like, it's still all weird to me that something so hobbies are supposed to be fun. Watching movies, reading comic books, they're supposed to be fun.
Okay, that's a great point though, and a great way to look at it is you're kind of taking the fun out of things that are supposed to be. It's like every time a movie or whatever something drops that they have a problem with, they just want it to be ruined for everybody.
Why though? Why do you want to take away someone else's joy? That's what I don't understand.
Right. Like it's like and these same people preach, "Oh, you should respect other people's opinions," but then they want everybody to think the same way they think. Now, I just had a random thought pop in my head that I was going to mention uh earlier, but one of the reasons we were talking about like Guardians and all of that, one of the reasons I liked the Black Widow movie, which might be controversial,
Oh,
is
I
because
loved
I
it.
felt like it was different. Go ahead.
I felt like it was geared towards women in a large port of it, and the way that that opening, showing the
Oh,
child trafficking, showing the subjugation of women, I thought it was so well done. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I thought it was phenomenal.
I thought it was really good, and I understand the criticisms of the movie. It was too late, blah blah blah. But I still thought it was good because it was different, and like you said, the intro, um,
I
and
cried like a little baby. I cried. I could not hold back once I heard Nirvana and seen all those little girls, like, just, oh,
so
the
it was very
emotions.
sad. It was very kind of disturbing, but not like too over the top, but really interesting. And somebody, oh, I forget where I read it, but they kind of compared her to Batman, which I never thought of, but I guess I can kind of understand that having like a really traumatic past.
Yeah, and I thought it was, like, what they did to, Natasha, like, when I think it's in Guardian, or no, it's in Ultron, where she's
Mhm.
talking about how, she's unable to have babies, and, like,
Ah,
those kind of things put into this movie made it, like, uh, m in my opinion, more geared towards women, but
mhm,
just because it dealt with what it's like to be one, right? What it's like to
yeah.
feel that way, and I thought it was really good. Like, I didn't, yeah,
I,
I totally get the criticism about Taskmaster. I know a lot of people
oh
were
yeah,
upset.
yeah.
That was a lot of people's favorite character. He was a fan favorite. I cannot believe they did that. That was silly.
I completely agree. But I do think Marvel seems to do a good job, or at least sometimes does a good job of finding a way to redeem characters that may have been a
Yes,
little weaker. So I feel like they're gonna try to make something better of that.
I hope so. The
I
only
hope.
thing I could think of is maybe they didn't want it to be a big character because the powers are similar to Echo and they're doing a TV show on Echo. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, I maybe yeah, because I love Taskmaster because of course you probably played the Spider-Man game right on
Mhm.
PlayStation. I love Taskmaster in that. Um, What was I gonna say? You liked Hawkeye as well, right?
Yes. I
I
love
love
the
that.
Christmassy theme. It's so
It
cute.
was so good. And I did you hear that apparently they're making a Kate Bishop and Yelena type movie with them together.
Ooh, I like them too. That'll be awesome. Robert said about, they're so used to it that they don't want it to end or change. What I think a lot of it is unfortunately equality wasn't real for because you're rude and nasty. I'm not rude or nasty, Coochie. Your name is Coochie Vagina, and you keep bugging if Dr. Soup is married. It's weird. Have a normal conversation.
Their
Oh,
comments.
okay. And we already told you she's married to a grilled cheese sandwich.
Yeah, right. There you go.
Anyways, um, hey, da da da. Oh, that's what I was saying. I think a lot of it is they
Sorry.
felt they're feeling equality as oppression and they're pushing back. And that's fair. They're allowed to. but I'm also allowed to call it ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like
Oh
you're
goodness.
and I feel the same way about it. Sorry, I just got distracted by the chat. I was laughing at that.
I know. Coochie vagina is upset. That's the first time I've ever said that. Poor Coochie. No, I'm not laughing at you, Coochie. I just we're talking stuff about Marvel and DC. Just have fun with it. That's all it is. So, anyway, Soup, we're gonna wrap up.
Mhm.
Do you have anything coming up?
Yeah, so I know actually I just had a brain fart. I'm doing a legal document thing for the latest Amber Heard stuff, but also the Marilyn Manson document came out late recently, and I'm doing a legal
Ooh.
document sort of breakdown on that as well because I actually have realized how interested I am in the legal stuff. I think that was like one of the first videos you commented of mine. I could be wrong. I did like a legal breakdown video on the Amber Heard
Yes, you
stuff.
have a good eye for it.
Thank you. But that's the kind of stuff that I'm interested in, so I'm gonna be doing some more of that. So that's gonna be coming out soon.
Heck yeah, and apparently we're nasty. No, it's weird. It's weird. We're talking about comic books, and it's weird, honey. It's not. Go ask the Quartering or Yellow Flash. Go and be like, "Are you married? Are you married? Are you married?" Yeah, not being nasty or rude, just sticking up for my friend. So shush it. Anyway, so yes, I will have my top fives out later, guys. I've already got them written down. I got it all set up. I will have my best of the week out. So we will see you guys later. Bye
Bye.
bye.